From Careco TV, one of the longest-running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventures. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. This is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week on Americana Outdoors, we're giving you an in-depth look at the Association of Collegiate Anglers and the longest-running college bass fishing trail in the history of college sports, the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series. For 16 years, the Collegiate Bass Fishing Series has offered young anglers a platform to compete at a nationally televised level. Some of the biggest events the Collegiate Bass Fishing Series hosts are the Bass Pro Shops Big Bass Bash, the Pickwick Slam, the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open, and of course, the Boat US Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops at the end of every year. Each of these no-entry fee tournaments also award $20,000 to $40,000 in prizes and contingency bonuses to the anglers. Throughout the years, the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series has taken us across the nation to some pretty incredible fisheries and ever-welcoming host cities. Let's take a look back on where the series has taken us and at some of the biggest highlights from the most recent season. We'll kick things off with the first event of every spring, the Bass Pro Shops Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkley at Henry County and Paris, Tennessee on Kentucky Lake.
Kentucky Lake is one of those fisheries. If you fish and you study lakes and bodies of water across the nation, Kentucky Lake is one of those lakes that is just world-renowned and famous. As you dig deeper into the history of this event and the relationship between the Association of Collegiate Anglers and the Paris, Tennessee, Henry County area, we started coming here back in the summertime. We were doing an open event, which was a combined weight event, and anglers were coming from all over the nation. And as things grew and the events became bigger and bigger, we kind of settled in on a big bass format, which really rewards a lot more people. It allows us to play a lot deeper, and it allows some of these schools to come and fish 3 to a boat, spend their entire spring break here on a bass fishing trip.
We love having these college anglers here. We see them when they come in and do their pre-fishing, and I love getting the text message or phone calls. I'm seeing boats, what's coming up? And so we get a lot of those messages, and seeing these kinds of youth being raised the way they are, it's exciting stuff. And that's why we continue to invest in tournaments like this with the Collegiate.
Day one of the Bass Pro Shops Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkley, consists of a total of 4 weigh-in sessions that pay out the top 10 finishing spots per session. And Day 2 will hold 3 weigh-in sessions, with the first 2 paying out the top 10 finishing spots, and Session 3 paying out the top 20. The stakes are high with this tournament, as it will play a key role in determining the 2021 Bass Pro Shops School of the Year, presented by Abu Garcia at the year-end championship.
Obviously, the Big Bass Bash is one of the biggest tournaments we have this year. It's double points, being that it's one of y'all's tournaments, and we got a lot of team members here, so it's really just a chance for us to try to build that lead and get it going strong these last few tournaments going on this spring.
In 2021, nearly 200 boats full of determined college anglers descended upon Kentucky Lake for their chance at a piece of the $40,000 cash purse and those valuable School of the Year points. Throughout the first day of the tournament, we saw huge fish brought to the scales. Here's a look at the session winners for Day 1 of the Bass Pro Shops Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkley. Day 2 of the tournament adds another unique twist to the event by requiring the anglers to only fish with Berkley baits, and this includes trailers used on jigs and spinner baits.
My confidence bait is this Berkley War Pig. It's like a red and chartreuse on bottom. All the fish I've caught have hit it almost as soon as I start reeling. There we go, that's what we want.
Got us one.
Once again, Kentucky Lake showed out, and we saw some competitive numbers at the scales. At the first session presented by Abu Garcia, Jacob Oliver from Arkansas State University took the first place spot with 5.16 pounds. In Session 2, presented by Tacticam, Fisher Young from Blue Mountain College weighed in a 4.77-pound largemouth for first place. Aiden Kolb of Murray State University won Session 3, presented by Berkley, with 5.41 pounds. After all was said and done, it was Cole Dodson from the University of Montevallo that held on to his Day 1 overall first place position with 5.75 pounds and ultimately went home with over $6,000 in prizes and contingencies and contributed 1,000 School of the Year points to his university.
Overall, man, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to win something like this forever, especially, I mean, all the prizes and stuff they give away. But, I mean, I'm just proud to be part of Montevallo because, I mean, we're doing really good this year, and it just pushes us up on the edge, you know. And they got us a spot in the national championship as a bonus team, so that means a lot.
Coming up, we're heading over to another favorite spot of the Collegiate Bass Fishing Series, Pickwick Lake in Florence, Alabama, for the Pickwick Slam.
You have a full-time job and you want to be a full-time angler. Don't waste time scouting. You want to catch fish. That's where Garmin comes in. Our mapping with Navionics data lets you see more detail than the fish do. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, and our industry-leading live sonar is so crisp and clear you'll think you jumped in. You're welcome. Now, if only we had a powerful, efficient, whisper-quiet trolling motor. Actually, we do. It's called Force. We knew you'd like that. Less time finding, more time catching fish. Only with Garmin.
When there's miles of water in front of you and hundreds of feet below, you need a boat with the chops to dominate, no matter the conditions. With the strength and technology to overcome the elements and the competition. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. The last major ACA event of the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series before the year-end championship takes us to Florence, Alabama, and one of our favorite lakes for the Pickwick Slam.
You know, Pickwick and Florence have been great hosts for college fishing now for over a decade, and I think the anglers like to come here. They catch a lot of fish. Fish is really big. It's very diverse, and in Florence, I mean, it's hard to beat them as a host city. They roll out the red carpet for these college kids, and they always have since our first visit. And then you've got lots of restaurants, you've got lots of things to do, and they appreciate the value that everything that is put into an event like this.
So it's always really nice having this tournament here in town, whether it's the championship or the tournament we have this weekend. I mean, it's nice having people come back and forth each year, and now it's basically like their family and they're here at home. Pickwick, I mean, it's a blessing from God, and it does a tremendous amount for our tourism industry. It brings people from all across the world here to town, and we're very thankful for that. And we let it do its job, and our job is to make sure that everyone, when they do come see Pickwick, they see the rest of the Shoals area. And we feel like when they do go out and see our area, that they are very satisfied and very happy. And hopefully, each and every year when you guys come back, it makes you all want to come back the year after that.
The Pickwick Slam is a 2-day no-entry fee event that pays out the top 20 finishing spots, with $30,000 in prizes and contingencies up for grabs. This event is also a favorite among the anglers because it counts as double points towards the School of the Year race.
It's going to be a fun event. It's a double points event, so it's really big. It means a lot to everyone out here. There's a lot at stake.
The winning team of the Pickwick Slam earns 1,000 points for their respective school, which can make or break the season for many schools on the playing field. Close to 400 of the top collegiate anglers competed in the 2021 Pickwick Slam. Last year's Pickwick Slam also marked the 11th time that the ACA has hosted a major collegiate event on Pickwick Lake. With anglers hitting the water in the springtime, this meant bass were active and biting all across the lake. Here's a recap of how day one played out.
We had a great day one. 6 limits over 20 pounds. Anglers just flat out caught them. Your leaders from the University of Montevallo, James Willoughby and Chance Schwartz, catching over 24 pounds of smallmouth bass. Awesome fish catching action on day one.
I mean, what a phenomenal bag. But that's Pickwick showing out for you in the springtime. It shows out in the spring, it shows out in the summer, it shows out in the fall, it shows out in the winter. It's just a great fishery, and those guys dominated it. But looking behind them, there's some hammers that are just nipping at their heels, and this is a 2-day event. You got to back it up.
On day 2, Pickwick continued to show out and produce big fish after big fish. Collegiate anglers fought tooth and nail to hit their limits and bring large numbers back to the scales.
Number 4 right there.
By the end of the day, Fisher Young and Fisher Overton locked in a third-place finish with an overall total of 38.99 pounds. Brock Bila and Jack Rainkin finished second with 40.15 pounds, and James Willoughby and Chance Schwartz were able to hold on to their day one lead with a whopping 45.42 pounds for the weekend. By maintaining their first place position, James and Chance of the University of Montevallo also held on to their school's first place position for the School of the Year race.
There's a lot at stake as far as School of the Year goes because we've been leading it all year, but kind of after the last few weeks, its lead's dwindled a lot. It was big at one point, but now it's getting small, so hopefully we can get back up there and stay on top throughout the rest of the year.
That wraps up our coverage of the 2021 Pickwick Slam, and a special thanks to Florence, Alabama for hosting our event. All right, coming up, we're heading over to Lake Murray for the final leg of the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series.
Thought I had enough fuel, but I didn't. Now you go to start the engine and you get that click, click, click.
When you're out on the water, you never know when you might encounter a breakdown or mechanical failure. But with a Boat US membership, worry no more. Membership provides you with on-the-water towing services, fuel delivery, and more. Anywhere, anytime that you need assistance.
We're here to come to their rescue.
Go online today to boatus.com to find out more information. Boat US, we're with you on the water.
The Yamaha VMAX V6 SHO continues to deliver the level of performance that pro bass and multi-species anglers demand. Underneath a bold and aggressive new look, an upgraded charging system with 40% more charging power meets the amped-up demand for today's advanced electronics. The VMAX SHO, raw power, reliability, and exhilarating performance for every angler who loves the sport enough to invest in the best. Yamaha, reliability starts here.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin.
Welcome out to Dreher Island State Park on the shores of Lake Murray in South Carolina for the 2021 Boat US Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops. This is the pinnacle week for the Association of Collegiate Anglers, college fishing's longest running national championship event. Everyone's excited to be here. There's a lot of buzz amongst the college fishing community about this tournament. A great week all in all set to take place.
The Boat US Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops, I mean, 16 years running, and it's the pinnacle. It's really what kicked off all of college fishing. So to be at Lake Murray for the first time ever for this championship is a new challenge for the anglers. It's a new backdrop, which we're all excited about, but the history that goes behind this, I mean, it's made and expanded careers for a lot of these college anglers.
We're at registration, checking in, having a good time with all the sponsor events. It's awesome that y'all do this for us. You treat us really well.
We love this tournament. I mean, just speaking for at least all the collegiate anglers I know, there's always so many great incentives, so many great sponsors that come out here, give us a lot of really great swag, provide things like the awesome Yamaha service trailer to help us out when things go wrong. This is one of my favorite tournaments, and I love the fact that we were able to move it to a new location this year on Lake Murray, get to do something a little different. Missed the ledges on Pickwick a little bit, but it's a lot of fun coming out here to a new lake and trying to figure things out.
Before we move on to coverage of the Boat US Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops, let's learn about this year's host city.
We're here today talking about bass fishing and what Lake Murray has in store bass fishing wise, but Lake Murray is really the playground of the Midlands, and has an array of activities that it supports. The one thing I think that your anglers are going to learn while they're here is the Southern hospitality. That's what we're known for, that's what we're good at, and that's what they're going to get while they're staying at Lake Murray.
To plan a getaway in Capital City, Lake Murray Country, visit lakemurraycountry.com. Okay, the stage is set for the kickoff of the 2021 Boat U.S. Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops. Anglers are competing for 2 full days for a chance to be crowned the national champions and to find out who'll earn the title of the Bass Pro Shops School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. Let's hit the water.
Number 5.
Day 1 saw a hefty load of fish reeled in across the field, and after a full day of fishing, the teams arrived back at the scales with some impressive weights. Here's a look at the top 10 standings after Day 1 of the 2021 Boat U.S. Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship, presented by Bass Pro Shops. Day 2 continued the trend of big bass being reeled in left and right here on Lake Murray, and teams showed no mercy in the race for the championship title. Back at the scales, Robert Gee and Chad Sentel from the University of Tennessee close out the day with a 2-day total of 31.66 pounds and a 3rd place finish. Tim Richardson and Gerard Kelly held on to their 2nd place position with an overall total of 31.79 pounds. With a dramatic ending to the day, Noah Skolnick and Garrett Torres from Texas Christian University weighed in last and made a huge leap from 15th place to 1st with 18.98 pounds, giving them an overall total of 32.51 pounds.
Today was a roller coaster. We went out there knowing we had to bust a big bag, and we did it. We went out there, fished by the seat of our pants. All 5 of our fish that we weighed in was caught doing different things on different baits. So, we just fished the conditions, put our head down, and grinded.
After the weigh-in, the Bass Pro Shops School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia title was announced. And for the first time in the school's history, the University of Montevallo took home this prestigious win with a commanding lead all season long.
This whole team, we've built a great friendship, and it's something that I think we all dreamed of it, and we worked hard, and we had a very consistent team, and everybody pitched in. It seemed like it was a different person every tournament that was at the top, and that's what you need to claim this title, is a consistent team.
That puts an end to the 2020-2021 season on the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series, an exciting ending that it was.
Phenomenal finish. To see a team from TCU come to Lake Murray with not a lot of experience on this body of water, stay true to who they were in a lot of ways fishing, they got them. In Montevallo, we talked about it all year long, a dominating team school performance. They earned it.
We want to extend a huge thank you to Capital City Lake Murray Country for hosting our championship event, and a special thanks to all of our sponsors who make this trail possible. Coming up, we'll head over to Lake Dardanelle in Russellville, Arkansas for the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open.
Want to know the difference between power bait and other soft plastics? Ask the fish. Berkley scientists have. Thousands of flavors tested on thousands of fish. Natural, man-made. Every bait that's ever hit the water. And no matter the shape, size, or color, power bait is the only one that is scientifically proven. Fish bite and will not let go.
As a professional angler, you've got so many things on your mind. Any advantage that we have is key. And not only rods and reels and lines and baits, but in our clothes. And the guys at AFTCO, they have something for every situation. There's nothing AFTCO hasn't thought about with the fishermen in mind. It's designed for fishermen, by fishermen, for every scenario you can come to. Any fish, any water, any condition, AFTCO has you covered.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. In the fall, each new season of the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series kicks off with the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open on Lake Dardanelle in Russellville, Arkansas. In 2021, the AFTCO Open hosted a fleet of over 400 college anglers, competing for more than $20,000 in prizes and contingencies in a 2-day traditional 5-fish limit format. As the premier event for the 2021-22 season, this is also the first ACA event that counts as double points towards the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia, and the first event that will award the top 5 finishers an automatic qualification to the 2022 Boat US Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops in the summer. Before we hit the water, let's learn a little bit about our host city and the lake we'll be fishing on for the next 2 days.
Each year we just love having this event in our town. We are a college town and we love having the college kids here. I mean, we just really enjoy investing back into the students and the kids, and we love having them in town. Russellville's a small community, but with a huge heart, and we love to host. We have tons of stuff, a cool downtown area that people can kind of hang out in. We have huge bike trails, so I mean, we love anything outdoors in our community. Lake Dardanelle, it's just super unique within itself because it does come right off of the Arkansas River. So we can actually host tournaments when a lot of other cities flood or can't host them, we can. So we know our lake is special and it's really unique. The guys can go up or down according to the tournament rules, and that's just a unique feature. We're not just a lake.
If you want to plan a trip to Russellville, Arkansas, visit discoverrussellville.org. We're joining the tournament coverage as we hit the water for Day 2 action. At the end of Day 1, we saw some competitive weights crossing the stage, but in tournament fishing, anything can happen, and it's still anyone's game. Out on the water, we're seeing some exciting fish catches, and by the looks of it, it's going to be a close call at weigh-in.
Here's number 1.
To win, I'm expecting somewhere around 27, 28. It can happen out here. The fish are out here to do it.
There's old Big right there.
Back at the scales, Griffin Fernandez and Zach Manabak from Adrian College lock in a 3rd place finish with a 2-day total of 23.76 pounds. Day 1 tournament leaders Robert Gee and Luke Byerly from University of Tennessee fall to 2nd place with 24.76 pounds. LSU Baton Rouge anglers Heath Pinnell and Taylor Knowles made a major leap from 18th place into 1st with 24.89 pounds.
We were lucky enough to take away the lead. We held it throughout the event. We weighed in one of the first flights, and we were able to stay in it. And our sponsors, we couldn't thank them enough. We wouldn't be here without them.
It's an awesome event. They always put on a good tournament. Huge turnout this weekend, 221 boats. It's a lot of people to beat, but they always pick a good place to have the tournament. So awesome, this place is awesome.
The LSU duo also earned 1,250 points for their university's overall School of the Year points. Here's a look at the top 10 standings of the 2021 AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open. We'd like to extend a special thank you to Russellville, Arkansas, for always serving as a gracious host city, and another thank you to AFTCO for their continued partnership with the Association of Collegiate Anglers. For a full schedule of the upcoming 2022 Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series, and to keep up with the latest news, you can head on over to collegiatebasschampionship.com. Hey, thank you for watching, and join us next week on a new episode of Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production. This episode was made possible by these partners.
TH Marine has been producing top-of-the-line marine accessories to rig boats from transom to trolling motor for decades.
From jack plates to fish care to LEDs, TH Marine has you covered. TH Marine, outfitting your boat from transom to trolling motor.
From sun up to sundown, day in and day out, we work hard. We play hard. And to keep us going during those long hours, we demand performance. Angle Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
Born in Japan, using technology, innovation, and precision, Sunline produces the widest selection of fishing lines at the most technologically advanced line factory in the world. Manufactured at the strictest tolerances to produce victories at the highest levels of tournament bass fishing. From household names like Christie, Swindle, and Cruz, to young guns like Cook, Logan, New, and Welcher, they all trust Sunline to take them to the top of the leaderboard. Choose the line that will give you the strength to guarantee your confidence. Sunline.
Attention anglers, are you looking for soft tubes or craws? How about big jigs, little jigs, and shaky heads of all sorts and sizes? Do you want some sweet swim jigs that you can take all across the country? When's the last time you stocked up on frogs, wacky rigs, or big old lead shakers? Maybe you just need a few swim bait heads, finesse jigs, and some good old stupid tube jig heads. You'll find all that and more fishing gear when you go online and shop the entire selection of Secret Lures now.